nestled peacefully along the Perfume River. Tianmu Pagoda has long been a cultural and spiritual symbol of the ancient capital of Hu. Built in the 17th century by Lord Nguyen Hoang, the pagoda is renowned not only for its historical significance but also for its serene beauty and sacred atmosphere, drawing thousands of visitors from all over the world. The pagoda's centerpiece is the iconic Phuoc Duyen Tower, a 7-story structure standing tall in the heart of the temple grounds. Surrounding the tower are moss-covered stone steps leading down to the Perfume River, creating a tranquil and poetic scene. Towering ancient trees cast their shade over the temple, and the sound of the pagoda's bells echoes through the air, blending harmoniously with the natural ambiance to evoke a sense of peace mixed with mystery. However, not all visitors feel at ease here. When night falls, Tianmu Pagoda takes on a different appearance. The silence that blankets the area is almost eerie, and some claim to feel an invisible presence, as if the pagoda harbors a long-buried secret from the past. Many years ago, in a small village near Tianmu Pagoda, there lived a young woman known for her gentle nature and beauty. She fell deeply in love with a poor but sincere young man. Their love, pure and genuine, was forbidden by her family due to the difference in social status. Not only did her family forbid their relationship, but they also arranged for her to marry a wealthy man. Heartbroken and unable to be with her true love, the young woman fell into despair. In the final days of her life, she would often sit by the banks of the Perfume River, gazing towards Tianmu Pagoda as though seeking solace for her broken heart. One stormy night, dressed in a pure white aodai, she left her house and walked to the riverbank. Under the dim light of the night, she stood silently for a moment before throwing herself into the cold waters of the Perfume River, ending her life in despair. The next morning, her lifeless body was found floating near Tianmu Pagoda, leaving the villagers in shock. It was believed that her spirit, burdened by sorrow, could not find peace. Since then, strange phenomena have been reported around the pagoda. Following her death, residents near Tianmu Pagoda began witnessing strange occurrences. On moonlit nights, some claim to see the figure of a woman in a white aodai standing quietly beneath the ancient banyan tree in the temple courtyard. She never spoke, only gazing sorrowfully towards the river as if searching for something lost. Others reported hearing soft footsteps on the stone steps, leading to the river, or gentle sighs carried on the wind. Curious individuals who investigated found nothing there, yet the chilling sensations lingered. These accounts quickly spread, adding to the pagoda's aura of mystery. Visitors to the pagoda also shared unsettling experiences. Many described feeling a sudden chill down their spine, especially near the banyan tree or the steps at night. Some even claimed to see a fleeting shadow of a young woman before it disappeared into the darkness. The story takes a more intriguing turn with the account of a senior monk who once served as the abbot of Tianmu Pagoda. He recounted having recurring dreams of a young woman. In the dreams, she appeared sorrowful, her pale face streaked with tears, as she knelt before him and pleaded, "Please, Master, help me. I cannot leave this place. I long for peace." At first, the monk dismissed the dreams as mere imagination. However, as the visions repeated night after night, he felt compelled to investigate. One day, while walking around the temple grounds, he discovered a forgotten grave hidden beneath the banyan tree. The locals believed this to be the final resting place of the tragic young woman. Her restless spirit, unable to find closure, had reached out to the monk for help. Determined to bring peace to the troubled soul, the abbot organized a grand prayer ceremony. The event was held with solemnity, as monks chanted sutras throughout the night, surrounded by the faint glow of incense smoke and flickering candles. Villagers who attended the ceremony said they felt a profound change in the atmosphere. As the final chants echoed through the air, it was as though the heavy presence that had lingered over the pagoda had lifted, and the young woman's spirit was finally free. After the ceremony, the mysterious sightings and sounds seemed to stop. However, some locals claimed that on certain full moon nights, a faint mist could still be seen rising from the Perfume River, as if the spirit was saying a final goodbye. Today, Tien Mu Pagoda remains a revered spiritual site, attracting thousands of visitors each year. However, the story of the white-clad spirit lives on in the hearts and memories of the local people. Whether it's a legend or reality, this tale adds another layer of mystique to the ancient pagoda, where beauty and mystery blend seamlessly. Would you dare to visit Tien Mu Pagoda on a moonlit night to uncover the truth behind its hidden secrets? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more haunting and mystical stories.
Deep within the canals of Xochimilco, Mexico, Lis Isla de las Muñecas, or the Island of Dolls, a place shrouded in mystery and fear. Surrounded by calm waters and wild vegetation, the small island feels frozen in time, exuding an unsettling atmosphere. What makes the island infamous is the presence of hundreds of old, decaying dolls hanging from trees and scattered everywhere. With hollow eyes, broken limbs, and distorted faces, they create a chilling scene. According to legend, the dolls are connected to the tragic death of a young girl who drowned near the island. Don Julian Santana, the island's caretaker, believed her spirit lingered and began hanging dolls to appease her restless soul. Over the years, the island transformed into a surreal kingdom of dolls. Visitors report seeing dolls blink, move, or hearing faint whispers and laughter at night. In 2001, Don Julian was mysteriously found dead in the same spot where the girl drowned, further cementing the island's haunted reputation. Today, Isla de las Muñecas is both fascinating and terrifying, leaving visitors with an eerie sense of being watched. Is it just a legend, or does the island truly harbor lost spirits? Would you dare to visit?
According to legend, many years ago, a young girl tragically drowned in the canals near the Island of Dolls. The exact details of her death remain shrouded in mystery. No one knows why she was there, or how she ended up being swept away by the water. Her lifeless body was discovered floating in the canal, and from that day onward, locals began to speak of her spirit lingering near the waters, unable to find. At the time, the only inhabitant of the island was Don Julian Santana, a reclusive man who had chosen to live in solitude, far removed from the bustling life of the mainland. After the girl's untimely death, strange things began happening on the island, particularly during the stillness of the night. Don Julian claimed to hear mysterious sounds, the faint cries of a child, eerie whispers carried by the wind, and even soft, childlike laughter that echoed through the trees. The chilling noises grew more frequent, convincing him that the young girl's restless spirit was haunting the island. One day, while walking along the edge of the canal, Don Julian found a doll floating in the water, caught among the reeds near the spot where the girl had drowned. The doll was old and weathered, its face partially disfigured by time and exposure to the elements. To most, it might have seemed like a discarded toy. But to Don Julian, it was a sign that the girl's spirit was trying to communicate with. Believing that the doll might help appease the child's restless soul, he took it and hung it on a tree near the water. It was a simple act, but to him, it was a gesture of comfort, a way to acknowledge the girl's presence and offer her some solace. However, even after the doll was placed, the strange occurrences on the island did not cease. Night after night, Don Julian continued to hear the same unsettling sounds, the soft sobbing of a child, whispers that seemed to drift through the trees, and the inexplicable laughter that sent shivers down his spine. At times he felt as though he was being watched, though no one was ever there. Convinced that one doll was not enough to calm the girl's spirit, he began collecting more dolls, believing they could act as protectors for the island and provide companionship for the wandering soul. His collection started with discarded dolls. he found floating in the canals or abandoned on the shore. Over time, he began scouring nearby towns and markets for old, unwanted dolls to bring back to the island. Each doll was carefully hung on the trees or placed around the island, as a tribute to the girl and as a way to shield himself from the supernatural forces he believed surrounded him. This single tragic event set the foundation for what would become one of the most hauntingly unique places in the world. To this day, visitors to the Island of Dolls often speak of an overwhelming sense of unease, as though the young girl's spirit still watches from the shadows, lingering in the very place where her life was tragically cut short. But the strange occurrences didn't stop. Don Julian became convinced that a single doll was not enough to appease the spirit of the young girl. Determined to protect the island and calm the restless soul, he began collecting more dolls from wherever he could find them. He scavenged for discarded dolls in the trash, bought old ones at markets, and even retrieved broken dolls floating in the water. Gradually, he hung these dolls all over the island, on tree branches, walls, and any surface he could find. Over time, hundreds of dolls with broken limbs, hollow eyes, and twisted faces began to dominate the island, transforming it into a surreal and haunting spectacle. These dolls, each more unsettling than the last, created an eerie atmosphere that seemed to throb with the weight of countless silent observers. Instead of bringing peace to the island, their overwhelming presence only deepened its sinister aura. Visitors who dared to set foot on the island shared chilling accounts of their experiences. Some claimed to have seen the dolls blink their lifeless eyes or subtly turn their heads, even when the air was perfectly still. Others reported hearing soft whispers and murmurs, seemingly emanating from the dolls themselves, particularly in the dead of night. One account even described the fleeting shadow of a little girl darting through the dense forest of dolls, vanishing as quickly as it appeared. These stories only added to the island's growing reputation as a haunted and cursed place. For many, the sight of the dolls, weathered by time and exposed to the elements, felt like being surrounded by silent witnesses to a tragic tale, their eerie stillness hiding secrets too disturbing to uncover. The island, once a place of solitude, had become a chilling kingdom of dolls, where every visitor feels as though they are being watched by hundreds of unblinking eyes. Would you have the courage to walk among these dolls, knowing that at any moment one of them might come to life, or perhaps is already watching you? Don Julian Santana lived on the Island of Dolls for many years, completely isolated from the outside world. He believed it was his duty to protect the spirit of the young girl who had drowned in the canal years before. For him, the dolls he collected were more than just objects. They were guardians, offering comfort to the girl's restless soul and keeping her from causing harm. Year after year, Don Julian continued his solitary mission, dedicating his life to the island and its eerie transformation into a kingdom of dolls. Locals thought he had lost his mind, spending his days among the decaying toys, but Don Julian saw his work as a sacred responsibility. He was said to be deeply connected to the island, often walking among the trees adorned with dolls, whispering to them as if they could hear him. But in 2001, the story of Don Julian took a tragic and mysterious turn. His lifeless body was found floating in the canal, in the exact spot where the young girl had drowned years earlier. The eerie coincidence fueled rumors and speculation. Many believed that the girl's spirit, whom he had spent his life trying to appease, had finally claimed him. Others thought that years of isolation, fear, and obsession with the supernatural had taken their toll, leading to his untimely death. After Don Julian's passing, the island grew even more desolate. Without its caretaker, the dolls were left to weather the elements, becoming even more twisted and unsettling over time. Their hollow eyes and broken limbs seemed to take on a life of their own, as if silently observing every visitor who dared to step foot on the island. Visitors to the island after his death have described feeling an unshakable sense of unease, as though they were being watched. Some claim to hear faint whispers, footsteps, or even the sound of a child's laughter, echoing through the eerie silence. The dolls, which once represented protection in Don Julian's eyes, now serve as chilling reminders of his tragic and mysterious fate. Was his death merely a coincidence? Or was it the final chapter in a story of spirits and unanswered questions? To this day, the Island of Dolls remains shrouded in mystery, a place where the line between legend and reality is hauntingly blurred. Would you dare to visit, knowing that the story of Don Julian and the dolls may still linger in the air? Today, Isla de las Muñecas has become a famous destination for those who are drawn to the mysterious and the supernatural. Visitors from all over the world travel to this eerie site to witness the haunting Kingdom of Dolls and hear the chilling stories of Don Julian Santana and the young girl whose tragic death started it all. Many visitors have shared unsettling experiences upon stepping foot on the island. Some report feeling an inexplicable chill run down their spine even on warm days. Others describe the eerie sensation of being watched, as though countless invisible eyes are following their every move. At night, the atmosphere grows even more unnerving. Guests have claimed to hear footsteps, whispers, and even the faint sound of a child crying, echoing through the darkness. The sight of hundreds of decaying dolls hanging from trees and walls, with their hollow eyes and broken limbs, creates a surreal and spine-chilling environment. These dolls, once collected by Don Julian as protectors of the island, now seem to exude an unsettling presence. For many, the island is not just a tourist destination, but an encounter with the unknown. Whether the stories are true or simply fueled by imagination, Isla de las Muñecas continues to evoke both fascination and fear. It is a place where visitors must ask themselves, do the spirits of the young girl and Don Julian still dwell among these lifeless dolls? The Island of Dolls is one of the most haunting supernatural stories and a destination not for the faint-hearted. Would you dare to step onto this island and face the hollow gazes of hundreds of dolls, listening to the whispers of hidden spirits in the darkness of the night? Thank you for listening to today's story. If you found it interesting, please like, share your thoughts in the comments below, and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss more captivating stories in the future. Your support is our motivation to bring you more meaningful content. See you in the next video, with heartfelt gratitude. In a quiet corner of Hanoi's old quarter stands an ancient banyan tree, a silent witness to centuries of history. For hundreds of years, this majestic tree has been a part of countless stories, from moments of peace to historical turmoil. With its massive trunk and sprawling roots gripping the earth like ancient claws, the banyan tree exudes a sense of both grandeur and mystery. Its dense canopy shields an entire area, providing shade by day but casting eerie shadows at night. Locals believe the tree is more than just a natural landmark. It is said to harbor strange secrets. Standing in front of it, many have described an unexplainable energy, as if the tree itself holds countless untold tales, waiting for someone brave enough to uncover them. But as night falls, the banyan tree takes on a different guise. It becomes the centerpiece of eerie legends, stories that have been passed down through generations, filled with chilling mysteries and haunting experiences. According to the elders in the area, this banyan tree is tied to a tragic story from centuries ago. During a time of war, a young woman fled to this tree for safety after her family was tragically killed. Overwhelmed by loss and despair, she ended her life beneath the tree, tying a rope to one of its sprawling roots. Her death left an indelible mark, and locals believe her spirit never truly left the banyan tree. People claim to have seen the ghostly figure of a woman in a white ao dye, silently appearing beneath the tree on quiet, moonless nights. Her sorrowful presence has become part of the tree's legend, a reminder of her untimely and tragic death. The legends surrounding the banyan tree are not just rooted in folklore. Many residents living nearby have reported strange occurrences around the tree. Some have heard soft weeping late at night, seemingly coming from the base of the tree. Others claim the leaves rustle violently, even on windless nights. One local motorbike driver shared his chilling experience while taking a rest under the banyan tree late at night. His bike's headlights began flickering. When he looked up, he saw a faint white figure gliding between the tree's roots, sending him fleeing in fear. Such accounts have only deepened the mystery of the banyan tree, leaving many to wonder if the young woman's spirit remains tied to this ancient landmark. One of the most chilling stories about the banyan tree comes from Mrs. Mai, a street vendor who lives nearby. One night after a long day of work, Mrs. Mai decided to rest beneath the tree. As she drifted off to sleep, she dreamt of a young woman in a white aodai approaching her. The woman whispered, "Please help me. I cannot leave this place." When Mrs. Mai awoke, she felt an icy chill throughout her body and realized it was nearly dawn. From that night onward, she said she often felt as though someone was watching her whenever she passed by the banyan tree. Many others have reported similar dreams of a sorrowful woman standing under the tree, her eyes filled with pain, as if silently pleading for help or closure. Believing the young woman's spirit was still lingering around the banyan tree, locals organized a prayer ceremony with monks to help her soul find peace. During the ceremony, incense smoke filled the air, and the sound of chants echoed throughout the area. Those who attended shared that the atmosphere seemed to lighten as the prayers ended, as though the heavy presence surrounding the tree had been lifted. Since the ceremony, reports of strange phenomena around the banyan tree have largely ceased. However, some still claim to feel a sudden chill in the air when passing by the tree, especially on full moon nights, as though the story of the banyan tree is not yet fully over. The ancient banyan tree in Hanoi is more than just a historical landmark. It is a keeper of stories, both beautiful and haunting. Are the strange occurrences merely coincidental, or is there something truly supernatural tied to this mysterious tree? Would you dare to visit the banyan tree at night to experience its mysteries for yourself? Let us know your thoughts.